Welcome to the Sports Rock Show.
Rock.
Today we are going to now highlight the NL Central. Do a little in-depth discussion with them, starting with the Cubs of Chicago. Some key departures: Brian LaHair, Sterling Peralta, Jeff Bellevue, Chris Volstad, Anthony Recker. Some key arrivals. So you had something else to say. Some key arrivals. Scott Hairston, Jesus Castillo. Let's see where we're at. Carlos Gutierrez, Edwin Jackson, Zach Putnam, Carlos Villanueva,
Former Indians prospect, Zach Putnam.
Hector Rondon.
Another Indians former prospect.
Yeah. Now, this lineup for the 2013 Chicago Cubs. Center field, David DeJesus.
This is a Harry Carey.
Shortstop, Sterling Castro. For how long? Who knows? First base, Anthony Rizzo. Left field, Alfonso Soriano. Right field, Nate Shearholtz. Third base, Ian Stewart. Catching is Wellington Castillo. At second base, Darwin Barney. The projected rotation is Jeff Samardzija, Edwin Jackson, Scott Feldman, Travis Wood, and Carlos Villanueva. And in that pen is Carlos Marmol closing, Kyuhi Fukuzawa, Sean Camp, James Russell, Michael Bowden, Rafael Dulles, and Hector Rondon. So, whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Well, I see the Cubs being undefeated, 160-10.
That's Ian Stewart, the baseball player, not the ex-pianist for the Stones.
Right.
Little boogie woogie third baseman.
So, moving on, because that was, I feel like we're bringing the level of the quality of this show down.
I like what the Cubs have done with the rotation. Now, I don't know the extent of the injury of Matt Garza, but I think Edwin Jackson is a solid guy. He's not a 1 or 2, but he's certainly a solid 3 or 4 guy. Villanueva and Feldman, I think, are decent pitchers. I don't think they're anything,
Garza
great.
and Scott Baker. Baker's coming off Tommy John. I believe he missed all last year, Minnesota. If he comes back healthy, Garza comes back, that's a pretty solid rotation. Samardzija had a breakout year. So.
But do they have the numbers? I mean, they do have. Rizzo had 15 homers. Castro's their best player. He's their best player. Soriano had a big year, 32 and 108. Whether or not he's still on, come trading deadline time, his name will be pop up like it does every year.
Oh yeah.
Scott Hairston, I thought, was a nice pickup last year. He popped out 20 home runs with the Mets.
Solid player.
So I think he'll help, but I don't see the Cubs winning. I've got him at 70 and 92.
Anthony, did you say Anthony Rizzo
Yes.
had a big year?
He had 15 homers.
Not bad, 285.
Yeah.
So-
He's a young player.
Yeah. So what was your prediction? I'm sorry, I missed that.
70 and 92.
70 and 92.
Yeah, I just don't think they, if they stayed healthy and these kids got better and the pitching staff works out for them, I can see them probably being better than that. But, you factor in probably, somebody gets hurt, Soriano. If Garza can't come back.
Garza last year was 5-7 with 3.91 ERA and 18 games.
So, I mean, they've got a lot of question marks, and that's 70 and 92 is good enough for me.
Okay. Zach?
I mean, they have talent, for sure. Especially I think Castro and Rizzo are untouchables, though, for them. And I believe Darwin Barney set the Major League record for fielding percentage last year by a second baseman. I think he had like 1 error or 2 errors, maybe. So, I mean, I don't see them getting rid of him. He's a young guy. And that rotation, if Garza's back, if Scott Baker comes back from Tommy John, I mean, they got Samardzija, they got Wood, they got Villanueva, they they got guys, I just don't, a bunch of average guys, I think.
Yeah.
Other than Starlin Castro is going to be a stud.
Yeah.
I don't see Soriano with that team at the end of the year. I don't see Marmol. I see Marmol.
I would question you'll see DeJesus by the end of the year.
Yeah, the
He's an
Jesus
older
might
player.
be gone. Garza might be gone if he's healthy. Edwin Jackson seems to be with a different team every year, so he might be gone.
Yeah, and boy, that's,
If a contender
that,
needs-
yeah, that's a guy that just,
He's a solid pitcher.
he'll give you the innings. He just can't seem to
But
find a hole.
yeah,
He just
nobody
can't.
likes him. Not
Nobody
much,
likes
I
him.
guess. We like you, Edwin.
Yeah,
But,
Edwin Jackson would be okay in Cleveland.
Cleveland, we
Absolutely.
take him on.
200
Absolutely.
innings.
Absolutely.
I don't see.
Would you give up
Marmol.
Cabrera for him?
They'd have to throw in somebody else, but I would consider
Consider
it.
it.
I'd consider straight up Rivaldo Menace.
Oh yeah, I would do straight up.
Straight up Rivaldo. I mean,
I don't see-
So what's your call?
I don't see. I see that Japanese guy they got taken over the closer job from Marmol maybe in May.
Kiyuji Fukizawa.
Yeah. I heard he was
What was
gonna
that?
help.
Fujikawa.
Say that again? Fuki who?
Kiyuji Fujikawa.
Fuki Sucky.
Fuck your Zamas.
God
Oh,
bless
no,
him.
that's the hooker we told him.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have Fukudome anymore.
Fuck a dummy.
Fucking dummy.
Well,
I
fuck
mean,
a dummy anymore.
looking at that roster, I see a
You got Brett Lillibridge and Luis Valbuena on the bench.
couple of tribes.
That's,
Scott
Sad.
Hairston.
Scott Harrison. No,
Scott Harrison, I think, will start.
Yeah, he might
I
work
think
his
Scott
way in
Harrison will
line.
find his way in the lineup.
Because Ian Stewart has never. He came up as a prospect for Colorado. He has never panned out.
Ian Stewart's a much better musician than he is a baseball player.
That's for sure.
This team, I see 68 and 94.
Okay.
Probably realistic for them. Maybe a few more wins.
Let me go. Well, I'll go 71 and 91. I give him a little bit of benefit of the doubt. James?
I go 62 and 100.
Not much faith there.
Miami Marlins
I think Ian's not going to perform all that well in the baseball field.
But he's not performing well on stage either.
Wow. This has turned very tragic.
No, the Cubs are kind of tragic. They're a sad story.
They're
for
still
years and years.
cursed.
They're
Cursed
sad,
Cubbies
sad, sad.
continues.
They
Pretty
are.
much anybody living on this planet right now is not seeing a Chicago Cubs
No.
series title.
No. I see the Indians before I see the Cubbies.
All right, moving on
Absolutely.
to the Cincinnati Reds. Off-season departures, mostly through trade. Dianair Navarro, Didi Gregorius, Drew Stubbs, Ryan Madsen, and Todd Redmond. Key arrivals. Shin-Soo Choo was by far the biggest.
Choo!
Signed Jack Hanahan from Cleveland, and they got Jason Donald through the trade.
It's fucking Cleveland and the fucking National League.
So in any event,
Only better
only much better.
with the pitching staff.
Well, the pitching staff's much better.
The Reds right now are
Plus,
looking
they
at
got
a
Brandon Phillips.
Yeah, oh yeah.
projected lineup of
That dude BP.
center field, Shin-Soo Choo. Second base, Brandon Phillips.
That dude BP. Came up
First
with-
base, Joey Votto. Left field, Ryan Ludwig. Right field, Jay Bruce. Third base, Todd Frazier. Shortstop, Jack Cozart. And it's catching, Ryan Hannigan. Projected rotation, Johnny Cueto,
Cueto.
Matt Latos, Bronson Arroyo, Homer Bailey, and Aroldis Chapman. In the bullpen, closing, Jonathan Broxton, Sean Marshall, Jose Arredondo, Logan Ondrusik, Manny Parra, Alfredo Simon, and Sam LeCure. That rotation's scary.
And
I like what the Reds have.
is Mike Leake the odd man out in that rotation? I'm assuming.
Could be.
I really do. I like the lineup.
Nick-
What can Shin-Soo Choo bring them in center field?
Starting off. Sure. Leading off.
I mean,
the lineup.
Jay Bruce had a great year last year.
Mhm.
Votto, not so much.
No, he didn't.
He was hurt.
No, you're right.
Phillips is solid. Frazier's a good-looking young player.
Cozart as well.
And I mean, I like their lineup. I like their pitching staff. If Chapman can bring the heat as a starter, that'll only make that starting rotation stronger. Jonathan Broxton, nice in the back end of the bullpen, should be solid. I've got the Reds at 95 and 67.
95 and 67. Damn. That's good. Zach?
That's around the area that I had them, but I mean, they're solid everywhere.
Yes.
The lineup, the bench, the rotation, the bullpen, defensively they're great. I mean,
Broxton had a big year.
I like Broxton at the end of the game. The big thing is going to be, can Chapman transition to the string? Can he throw 102?
He's
and throw
got
100
some
pitches?
nasty stuff, I tell you.
How long is he going to be able to hold up throwing 102 when he's throwing 100 pitches?
That's a big question, there's no doubt.
He needs to have a diversity in his pitching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He's got a nasty slider, too.
Yeah,
That's the
he's
point.
not
He
going to
can
be.
be diverse
He's
by
not
his
going to be
pitching.
reaching back and throwing
I'd hate-
102
I'd hate
after
to
about
t-
6 or 7
I hate
innings.
to tell him to dial it down a little bit, but if you want him past June,
Yeah,
he's going to have to.
you're right about that.
I think I'd have kept him in the bullpen, to be perfectly honest with you, because you had 5 good starters as it was, but
Yeah,
you know, well,
Bronson
we'll see.
Arroyo's still pitching pretty good.
Arroyo had a Homer Bailey finally had a
Yep,
very good year. He had a no-hitter last year. You got Latos and Cueto at the front end. They're studs. for
absolutely.
Sure. That lineup is very solid top to bottom.
Last year, Cueto was 19-9 with a 2.78 ERA. Matt Latos was 14-4 with a 3.48 ERA. Bailey, 13-10, 3.68 ERA. Arroyo, 12-10, 3.74 ERA.
All those ERAs under 4.
Yep. Chapman saved 38 games last year. Had an ERA of 1.51.
122 strikeouts in 71
Yeah.
2/3 innings.
That's nasty.
Nasty.
That is nasty.
Some of the nastiest stuff you'll ever
So,
see.
yep.
But I mean, Chu's definitely an upgrade over Stubbs. For
No
sure,
doubt.
in center field.
No doubt.
And I think
He's
Hanahan.
he's an upgrade offensively, probably.
Not defensively,
No.
not at all defensively.
No,
But, and I will say, though, I think that Stubbs will hit more home runs than Chu, but Chu gets on base a
be
lot.
close.
Chu hits more for
They'll
average.
both hit around 20, I think, anywhere from 15 to 20.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, they rated our bench as well. They got a pretty solid bench. That Mesoraco is the catcher.
Jack
in waiting.
Hanahan, Jason
I
Donald,
think
Chris
Chris
Heisey,
Heisey's one of the best pinch hitters in
and
baseball.
Xavier Paul.
Yeah, Chris Ice is a nice extra outfielder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would start on a lot of teams.
Yep.
Marlins for sure. You know.
Moving on.
Yeah, I think Hanahan.
Everybody in this team would start in Miami.
Hanahan and Donald are great fits for their bench. I think.
Jack Hanahan, I think, was a solid player for the Indians last year.
I think he
Very
was a
much
good
so.
glue guy. Good glue guy.
He reminded me a lot of Casey Blake.
Yeah.
You know, he was he's somebody that they wanted to, well, yeah, it was somebody that they wanted to pick off the heap and turn a dime, or turn something rough into a diamond. Didn't
Yeah.
quite pan out like that, but I think he definitely
Well, I don't
showed
think
his
they-
worth.
You know, he was.
Red
he's
signed
not
him to a
star.
2-year deal,
Yeah.
Mhm.
so they must have some anticipation of him being.
Good locker room guy.
Yeah.
You know, good glue guy.
He's somebody I think really Cleveland probably should have brought back.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're going to play Chisenhall.
You have Mike
But-
Willis who can play anywhere.
That's true.
He's left-handed.
Yeah.
That's true
And
too.
if Chisenhall was a right-handed hitter, I'd say more inclined,
Yeah.
that may have been the way they would go.
Mhm.
But Aviles is able to play second, short, and third, and an outfield corner spot,
Yeah.
so there's more versatility.
True. That's
Yeah.
true.
And Hanahan, quite frankly, is not that much of a hitter.
No, he's not.
Great defensive player.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought he was in the big
But,
leagues.
yeah. I mean, I definitely say one in the Central. St. Louis is the only one that's even going to give them
Any kind
type
of- right.
competition.
So what's your call
I
for
mean,
that?
I see 93 wins.
93 and 69?
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with that 93, 95 range. The fact that they played the Cubs, the Brewers, and the Pirates, 18 games each, is going to be a big
Yeah.
benefit to them.
Don't sleep on Pittsburgh, but the other two, yeah.
Well, you're right, but I think the Reds are definitely better. So I'll split the difference, and I'll go 94 and 68. James.
I'll give him 90 wins.
90? All right then. Moving on, speaking of the Brewers, we will highlight the Brewers next. Some key departures for the Brewers were Yorbit Torrealba, Raul Mondesi Jr., Faustino de los Santos, and Manny Parra. Some key arrivals, Burke Baldenhop, Arsenio Leon, Sean Markham, Mike Gonzalez, and Tom Gorzolani. The
Not much up.
Well, that Markham's wrong. He was with Milwaukee last year, but he went to the Mets. But,
oh,
yeah.
sorry, we have bad sources here at Sprock, unfortunately. We need to vet them a little better, evidently. All right, now I can tell you, right field, Norichika Aoki, second base, Ricky Weeks,
Konnichiwa.
left field, Ryan Braun, third base, Aramis Ramirez, catcher, Jonathan LaCroix, center field, Carlos Gomez, first base, Hunter Morris, and shortstop, Joan Segura. Projected rotation, Giovanni Gallardo, Marco Estrada, Michael Fears, and Chris Narvison, and Willie Peralta. In that bullpen, John Axford, Jim Henderson, Brandon Kinsler, Mike Gonzalez, Bert Badenhop,
Berkshire.
Tom Gorzolani, and Mark Rogers. Projected disabled list, Matt Gamble, torn ACL, out for the year. Corey Hart, knee surgery on January 25th, out 4 months.
That's gonna hurt.
That's going to hurt.
That's gonna hurt them.
So is Matt Gamble, too.
But Hart will be back.
Gamble was their big prospect that never panned out.
Well,
He almost came to Cleveland in the Sabathia.
He's not going to pan out if he's not playing,
No.
so.
I don't think he's hit 200 in a big league season yet. So some
Well,
big prospect.
yeah,
for him,
yep.
but I believe that's the second time he's tore his ACL as well.
So you can say actually Matt Laporta's had a better career.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I would say so. Very much so. At least he's played in the big leagues.
Last year,
Somewhat
Jonathan
so.
Lucroy, 12 dingers, 58 ribbies, batted .320.
He was hurt part of the year.
Ricky
too.
Weeks, 21 homers, 63 RBIs, batted .230. Aramis Ramirez, 27 dingers, 105 RBIs,
a big
batted
year.
.300. Ryan Braun, 41 dingers, 112 RBIs, batted .319.
Stud.
Absolutely.
So,
The fact they had two guys three guys actually with over 100 RBIs,
They're gonna miss Corey Hart.
that's quite impressive.
30 homer guy.
Or no, only two. My bad.
Aoki had a great first year
Yeah.
in the U.S. coming over. Carlos Gomez had
Wound up
19
batting
homers.
.288.
Yeah. Carlos
Aoki
Gomez
did.
had a breakout year.
Yeah. So.
We saw a lot of guys last year that were big prospects that hadn't quite got it together yet, but they finally did
Right.
last year, like Gomez, like Homer Bailey.
Marco Estrada last year was 5-7, 3.64 ERA. Mike Fears 9-10, 3.74 ERA.
I think they have high hopes for that shortstop too, Segura.
Segura
Yeah, John
was the
Axford
big,
had 35
He was
saves.
the big piece in the Greinke trade with the Angels.
Greinke.
Segura had.
He didn't care as long as somebody paid him the most money. He didn't care who he played for.
No.
Well, he batted in
I hope he stinks.
148 at bats. Segura had no homers, 14 ribbies, batted .264.
He's got a step up though.
Yeah. So what are we thinking about this Brewers squad?
Brew Crew.
The Brew Crew, absolutely.
Not quite the Brew Crew of old days.
No,
No.
I don't think Bernie Brewer.
Harvey Wallbangers.
Yeah, they didn't have
Yeah.
the freaking bats, the
Cecil
bangers.
Cooper, Ben Ogilvy,
Smashers.
Gorman Thomas,
Didn't have the smack.
Robin Yount, Paul Mahler.
Yeah.
Paul Mahler, one of my favorite players.
I'm a big
Paul
Robin
Mahler's a
Yount
stud.
fan, to be
Yeah,
honest.
both Hall of Famers.
Absolutely. Great
Players,
players.
Hall of Famers. Yeah, I don't see Bernie Brewer coming down the slide a whole lot.
Yeah.
Other than when Ryan Braun's up, but and Ramirez maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Weeks always seems to have something go wrong with him. But I love his game though. He's a solid player. I personally I don't like Ryan Braun. I think he's kind of an ass. And he's been questioned twice about this. I'm kind of skeptical about
Well, he was.
He's a
Was he
roid freak.
suspended 50 games?
No. No, he was supposed to be last year and he
And he
won.
got added.
That's right, he got
Because of
Because they
mishandling of evidence.
mishandling, yep. So it doesn't mean he didn't do it, it just
Yeah.
means
No,
that
it just
somebody
means
else
that it
done.
just-
You gotta handle that urine with care.
You do.
Technicality,
You do.
there's a technicality. When you piss, make sure you piss in the right
But
place.
if,
and no
but
one
if,
else has
if
it.
Hart gets back into that lineup, and like you said, it's a few months down the road.
Yeah.
But I like the lineup.
The lineup's
It's a
solid.
decent lineup, for sure.
They need a nice left-handed bat in that lineup. They have Aoki, I think that's about it.
But their pitching staff,
It's
I
Gallardo and
like
everybody else.
Axford in the back of the pen with 33 saves last year.
Yeah.
But in order to
He-
get
he
to
kinda-
him, you know, it's-
Axford blew quite a few saves last year too. He needs to get back to what puts food on his table, for sure. And then in the rotation, you have Gallardo and everybody else.
Yeah,
If they're out
yeah,
of this,
Dardo, he's a nice pitcher.
if they're out of this in June or July, he might be gone.
Giardo last year was 16-9 with 3.66 ERA.
He's solid.
That's tough
He's
on any
a-
lineup.
He's by far their ace, and
Yeah.
probably an ace, if not a very good number 2 on every other team.
Yeah.
So, but what are they going to get out of Estrada? That Fires or Fears or whatever had
Fears.
a pretty good year last year. Peralta's one of their top prospects.
Mhm.
I like what they did in the
Chris
bullpen.
Narveson.
I like what they did in the bullpen with Gorzolani and Gonzalez. They got a couple solid lefties.
Hunter Morris, top prospect.
Henderson setting him up. If I'm pretty sure Henderson's their closer of the future. So if Axford slips, it's going to be
Yeah.
Henderson at the end of the game, which I heard he throws upper 90s. So
I'm putting Milwaukee at 500. 81 and 81.
81 and 81.
that's probably
Which is solid. Is that
pretty
your
solid
call
team.
too?
I'm going to go 79 and 83. I see I'm just a little off. So
I think in this division, they can win some games.
yeah.
So I'll go 83 and 79. I'll flip yours around, Zach. I'll give them
Solid team.
I'll give them a winning record.
Corey
I will
Hart
say.
comes back. I see him, which, our sources say 4 months, so that's,
Yeah, if he
August.
had knee surgery in late January,
They're looking
he's
July,
only a month
August.
into it,
Yeah.
so you're looking at 3 more months, which would still bring him back
May.
late
June.
May.
Yeah,
Well,
early
yeah,
June.
true.
Probably about a month before the All-Star break.
But
Yeah.
where do they sit by the 1st of
Yeah.
June?
Is
Are they already 12 games out
is
and
Gallardo
fading
gone?
fast?
Is Ramirez gone? Is
you
Axford
could
gone?
put Gallardo in a Tribe uniform.
He looked pretty damn good with the Wahoo on his
He
hand.
would he would become the ace.
Or that
Oh,
weird
yeah.
C now.
Unless Masterson pitches out of his head. You never know. What's your call, James?
I'll say 90 and 72.
Ooh, that's another.
Root
You think
is
they're
not
gonna have the
bad.
same record as the Reds?
What are the Reds at?
90 and 72.
That's a bit high.
Honestly, 90.
I'd say 81 and 81.
So he knocks 9 games.
Wow. Wow. All right then. Moving on.
James, you're the spark plug of this show.
Absolutely. You're the something of the show. No.
You're the
Wait.
Shaw of Iran.
We love you. You know we love you.
Shaw.
Mad love for the James.
Mad love.
Mad love. All right, moving on to the Pirates of Schittsburg. Key off-season departures: Rod Barajas, Brock Holt, Gustavo Nunez,
Kevin Correa.
Quincy Lattimore, Joel Hanrahan was probably one
Joel
of the
Hanrahan
biggest,
was their
if not the
their
biggest. Yes.
Yes.
Some additions. Let's see. Yanmar Gomez, I think, was a nice pickup from the Tribe.
Yeah.
Vin Mazzaro, Stomy Pimentel,
Mark
Zach
Melanson.
Stewart,
Saul Pimento. I thought that was some kind of
Stomy.
nutrient you're supposed to take.
Frank-
Prostate.
Andy Oliver, and Francisco
They're taking a
Liriano.
flyer on Liriano, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, they are.
Another enigma.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I
He's,
just-
he's not able to pitch yet, I don't believe.
He's one that won't even be there on the roster.
He might not.
I think
won't.
you throw Liriano in the bullpen.
Well, Liriano, fractured right arm, questionable for opening day.
He's questionable.
And also Charlie Morton, Tommy John surgery on June 14th of
Yeah,
2012.
Everybody else.
but
So.
he sucked against everyone else.
All right, this projected 25-man roster, the lineup: left field, Starling Marte, Second base, Neil Walker. Center field stud, Andrew McCutchen.
Absolutely.
First base, Garrett Jones. Third base, Pedro Alvarez. Catching, Russell Martin. Right field, Travis Snyder. And shortstop, Clint Barmas, another very solid player. The rotation, A.J. Burnett, Wandy Rodriguez, James McDonald, Jeff Karstens, and Kyle McPherson.
Top prospect.
Big
They got
prospect,
Jim
yep.
Gomez,
Yep.
ex-Indian. They're everywhere.
Could be the-
Yeah, they're all
everywhere.
everywhere.
They are.
Yeah, they are. They
You
did.
look down everybody's 25-man roster.
There's
you're
an
gonna find
Indian.
one
Could be
Indian.
There's an
could be
Indian.
that AAA ace.
In the bullpen, taking the place of Hanrahan is Jason Greeley.
Veteran.
Set up Mark Melancone and Tony Watson. Then you have Jared Hughes, Justin Wilson, a big prospect, Brian Morris, and Chris Leroux. This Pittsburgh team surprised some people last year. They won some games. McCutchen is just, I'm really
They always fade
surprised.
at the end.
They do. I'm surprised they kept McCutchen. But I think
Oh, they
Clint,
got to.
I think Clint
they're
Barmas,
not.
well,
They trade McCutchen, they might as well close the doors.
Yeah.
depending
They
on what
might.
they get for him.
We
No.
You're
are
not gonna-
family.
I don't know why.
All right, they were what? They were 80 and 82
brothers and
last year.
sisters and me.
Do you think they did-
They weren't quite. That was what I project them for this
Oh.
year. They were in the ballpark. They finished below 500 for the 20th season in a row. 19th
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Weren't they like 70, like 5?
Well, they were 10 games over, 12 games over 500 going into September or late August, I think.
Yeah.
But I'll say though,
Yeah,
the
fall
Pirates,
Yeah, they fall apart.
the Pirates were one of the teams that Sprock went to see last year, and I don't think they had anybody on that entire lineup that batted over like 280 or 290,
Yeah.
Other than McCutchen.
other than McCutchen. Much like Cleveland, Cleveland was in
Well-
a similar situation at that point. This was fairly
Yeah.
about middle of the season, I think.
I
Something
like
that.
the top of their lineup. Marte's a top
Yep.
prospect for him.
Yep.
Neil Walker, very underrated player at second base. Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez finally came to fruition last
He
year.
had 30 home runs.
30 homers. Strikes out a ton, but
Gary
Yeah.
Jones had 27.
you know, he's going to strike out close to 200 times probably, but, you know. Russell Martin was a good veteran addition for him.
He had 21 home runs
But, I
last
mean,
year.
Yeah.
Only hit 211.
You know, the rotation's solid. You know, you got three pretty established guys, McDonald, Burnett, and Rodriguez.
Burnett last year 16 and 10 with 351
Yeah,
ERA.
are you going to get that again?
Rejuvenated.
From AJ.
Well,
I mean,
351
I think
ERA
he will.
is not
No,
stellar.
he had decent stats
I mean, he
last
did
year,
win
don't get me
16
wrong,
games,
but can
though.
he duplicate those stats
I think he
again?
could.
Oh, what is he?
I think the problem, he's 35. I think the problem with Burnett, well, no, I think the problem with anybody on this Pittsburgh staff is going to be run support.
Yeah. Well, Burnett's,
So James
Burnett's
McDonald
gonna
last
get
year
that
was
case, too.
12 and 8, 421 ERA.
Who's the former Indians on this?
Karstens 5 and 4, 397 ERA.
Jim
Wandy
Marco.
Rodriguez 5 and 4,
When people start
372
seeing him
ERA.
play.
Yeah, Jim Marco. Which I was actually a little
Yeah,
sad
Gabby
to see
Sanchez,
Jim
Yeah.
Gomez go.
next Marlin.
Gabby Sanchez on the bench. They can platoon with Jones
Yeah.
at first. Solid. Pittsburgh has a solid team.
Jason
They have a
Greeley
young-
last year at 291 ERA. He's 35 though.
Who?
Jason Greeley.
Yeah. They try to live on the cheap.
Well, of course. Last year, Andrew McCutchen.
Neil-
I don't
Neil
know. Did you
Walker.
give his stats yet? 31 dingers, 96 ribbies,
Yeah, hit 327.
327.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
Oh, he's a
awesome.
stud.
Well,
He's a
Neil
stud.
Walker hit 280.
Yeah, 14
14.
homers, 69
Yeah,
RBIs.
he's solid. I mean,
And Alvarez had 30 homers and
30,
85
yeah.
RBIs.
you got Alvarez and Jones as the big boppers.
I think Alvarez hit 2 home runs in that Pirate game we went to.
Was it him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was him.
Yeah, yes
Yep.
it was.
Yeah.
Well, Rob Barajas hit 11 dingers.
Yeah.
Only batted 206 or
Yeah.
306,
Yeah,
206.
well, Russell Martin, he'll
Yeah.
be their catcher, so they're fine. They're fine there.
Yeah.
I mean, Barmas is a solid major league guy. If Marte has had a pretty decent rookie year,
Yeah.
that bullpen's pretty average.
It'll give up some runs, but it'll
Yeah.
hold some too.
I mean,
So.
Watson's a good. Watson, I believe, is a side arming lefty, or submarine lefty.
So
He's a young
let's
guy,
talk
so-
Turkey. What are we talking records?
Records.
What do you think?
20 years of non-winning records in Pittsburgh, and I'm gonna. I don't know. I wanna pick them with a winning record this year, but I don't know. They're missing pieces. I think to
Mhm.
compete. So I see, I'm gonna say 81 and 81.
Whoa.
500.
Now is that's not a losing record.
No, it's not a winning record.
So right, so that's kind of right on the
yeah.
fence. What do you think, James?
83 and 79.
Ooh, he's gonna
Give
give
him a
him
couple.
You've heard it
just
here
a couple.
first.
You heard it here first.
America.
They will snap a 20-year
James.
losing streak.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him a little bump here.
I was thinking like he was gonna go like 5 and 157 or something like
Is that
that.
like the Colbert bump with
Choker, yeah.
the 80 bump?
No, the 80 bump.
I'm gonna go 78 and 84. I don't think they quite get there. Although this is I think that's a better than average record
if
for
they're
this
in
team
it-
in this division.
If they're in it, they might try to go out and get a few guys.
They're gonna pay for him though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, if they're not in it, do you think there'll be a fire sale?
It might be a fart sale.
Everybody, probably anybody but McCutcheon or Walker or Marte.
See, I mean, I
I
know
think
you
that's
say they
become
gotta
better.
keep him. They
They
gotta
tried to
keep
get
him.
Marte last year.
They say you gotta keep him. You gotta keep him. If you're gonna unload the team,
Andrew
why
McCutcheon.
keep one guy? Get rid of them all.
Andrew McCutcheon is untouchable, I think.
Yeah, but what's the
I can-
purpose
I
of
can- if they're
keeping
out
one
of it, I can see
stud?
them dealing AJ Burnett.
What's the purpose
Yeah.
of keeping one stud with a bunch of shitty players
You
around?
You gotta have a name to
You gotta
draw
have
some
somebody.
fans.
Yeah.
You gotta have
Yeah.
somebody to draw
They
some
have-
No
fans.
doubt about that.
Beautiful ballpark there.
Yeah, you
The
gotta
fans-
have some
fans
name
are
to
It
draw.
smells like
fans.
shit all the time, but it's a beautiful ball.
Yeah.
That's a nice ballpark.
I mean, you got the fans still coming in. The past 2 years, they've been winning in the summer.
You gotta have, you
Yeah.
have to have at least a stud name
You
to
know,
keep.
this ain't,
Somebody to hang your hat on.
this ain't Willie Stargell or Roberto Clemente.
Right.
We are families out the window a long time ago.
Yeah.
Doug, what's your call?
I see another year of sub 500 baseball. I don't think their lineup is that bad. I do question the pitching staff. If they can get to the back end of the bullpen, there's question marks there if they can get there.
Right.
I do think if they're not in it come the trading deadline, I think AJ Burnett is available.
Rodriguez might be available.
Yeah, I like Wandy Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do
It was a
like
good
him.
pickup.
Yes, he was.
And Karstens isn't too bad, I don't think. But I see another year of sub 500 baseball, just barely, at 80 and 82.
Ooh, 82.
I think they are out of it. Burnett's definitely gone.
He can ship him to
Because they
Cleveland, and he can be the piece that gets the Indians
Because
deep in the playoffs.
because they got some young arms like McPherson, and I believe Wilson was a starter, but Baseball America has him as their number 5 prospect?
Well,
Yeah.
Burnett's got to be coming to the back end of his contract, isn't he?
Yeah, I would think.
And that's big money. For them to put out the kind of money for
35 years old.
for AJ Burnett was a big step for them.
We can pick
Yeah.
him up in July or August, and he gets us.
Just for the rest of the
Gets you-
season, you already picked
Yeah.
up. Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah,
get
because
that
you're
partial
only
contract.
paying half of his salary.
Well, hell yeah. No,
Well,
that's
he's
what I'm
probably
saying. That's-
about, what,
that's a
13,
big deal.
14 million a year guy.
Probably, he's
And we may be
okay.
second pretty good by then, you never know.
Big contract.
Might be that one player away to help us get it over the hump, at least into the playoffs or
Yeah.
whatever, so.
But
That could be a plus.
I just don't, I see another year of pirate baseball.
They'll be fun to watch, probably.
Yeah, I only gave him the edge because I just feel that maybe they'll get a couple lucky wins to get them
Well,
over
You play,
500.
you're
The Magic.
you're letting emotion get into it, and that's cool.
There's no emotion. I can't stand anything from fucking Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but
I'm
you,
just saying, I
but you
think there's
gotta
a
feel bad
chance
for a
that-
team that hasn't had a winning record in 20 years.
I guess that's kind of why I figured I'll give them a
Regardless.
chance to get at least a 1 or 2 games above 500
Right.
anyway.
What was it, 92? Sid Bream sliding into home in Atlanta
Yeah.
at Fulton County Stadium. And they've never been the same
Ain't
since.
never been the same since.
NLCS 92. They're still having nightmares.
All right, so the last team to round out the division is the St.
Cardinals.
Louis Cardinals. This is a team that you just can't count out ever.
Never.
Kind of like the Yankees
I hate
in a
'em.
way. Some off-season departures: Lance Berkman and Skip Shoemaker. Arrivals, very short: Jake Lemmerman, Ronnie Cedeno, Ty Wigington, and Randy Choate. Not a lot of off-season activities for the Cardinals.
Choate's a solid guy in the bullpen. Wellington's a solid corner.
Now, Chris Carpenter, as we know, out indefinitely with that nerve problem, may never pitch again. So I think that they're going forward with plans to not have him involved in the
Yeah.
mix.
But I can still like that rotation. I can still like Garcia, Wainwright, Westbrook, and Lynn. I think it's okay.
And Joe Kelly to round that out.
I think it's okay. They've got a nice guy in the back of the pen, and Jason Mott, with
Michael Paul,
42 saves.
Trevor Rosenthal, Mark Chizinski,
Zepchinski.
Edward Mujica, Randy Choate, and Fernando
But
Salas.
the Cardinals seem to find players within their organization that fit what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Whether
Yes.
it's an infielder, I mean, you look at their lineup. Alan Craig, homegrown.
Well, let's
David Freese,
give this lineup a little
Homegrown.
quick.
John Jay, homegrown.
Homegrown.
Shortstop Rafael Furcal, questionable for the start of the season with an elbow injury. First base Alan Craig, left field Matt Holliday, right field Carlos Beltran, catcher Yadier Molina, third base David Freese, center field John Jay, and in second base Daniel Descalso. So
Solid team.
Yeah,
It's a solid lineup for
They
sure.
play the game the right way. Now, are they going to get that kind of year from Yadier Molina again?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Craig, Holiday, Freeze, Beltran, solid guys in that lineup.
Jay.
If Furcal plays, Descalso, Jay, they got a little bit of guys that can get on base and make some things happen. I like St. Louis. I think they've got a nice ball club.
last year they had three guys over 300 in Alan Craig, Yadier Molina, and John Jay. Molina hit 22 dingers, 76 ribbies. Craig had 22 dingers for 92 ribbies. Freese had 20. Freese
20 homers.
20 homers, 79 RBIs. And Matt Holliday, 27 homers, 102 RBIs.
Beltran had 32.
32 with 97 RBIs. So
They got a nice lineup.
That's a very
that
nice
lineup
line.
drove some runs in.
Yeah, they score. They can score runs.
And it's a very good blend of lefties and righties, I think. You're not,
Well, Beltran can switch hit.
yeah.
Jay is left-handed. You got Holiday's right-handed. Freeze is right-handed. Alan Craig. Furcal switch hits.
Yeah.
Well,
Wainwright last year was 14-13 with 3.94 ERA.
Yeah, he's a key. He's a big key.
He's going to have to be, him and Lance Lynn are going to have to be the,
Lynn was 18-7 with a 3.78
And
ERA.
Garcia was 7-7.
he's,
Loesch had a
His
big.
ERA was under 4.
Why have they
He's
not?
a left-hander.
Why
He's
haven't they
questionable.
re-signed
He's coming
Loesch?
off
Are they just
injury.
not willing to pay him, or
What's that?
Loesch went 16-3 with a 2.86 ERA?
Yeah, I think it's probably dollars.
yeah, dollars.
I mean,
It's
Scott Boris is
Scott
his
Boras.
agent, and he's probably looking for
Yeah,
12 to 14 a
Yeah.
year.
yeah, multi-year deal.
And, St. Louis is probably saying,
Multi-year
hey,
deal for a,
what is he,
guy in his
36?
30s.
we'll give you
33.
1 year, 10 mil. I mean, a bad chunk of change for a 1 year deal.
No, it's not.
On a
No.
pitcher of his age.
And you know what he wants?
He's made a
Long
career.
term.
Sure,
But see, here's the
sure,
thing
I
with
got it.
baseball.
Loesch made a
Here's the
career.
key thing with baseball players is they want long-term contracts.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, 'cause
because
they're
they know,
guaranteed.
yeah, and they
Right.
know that they've only got a couple years left in them, production-wise.
Well,
at
especially
that level.
Loesch, who is 33 years old.
Yeah.
Although I could see him
What's Jake
pitching for
Westbrook?
another 2 or 3.
He's
I-
got to be 34
He's
or
older.
5.
Oh, Westbrook is, yeah. No, I could
But
see
he was
Loesch going a
13
few
no
more
winner
years,
last
but
year with an ERA under 4 as well.
Right.
If you get that from Jake Westbrook again this year, you're like sitting pretty
you're
good.
great.
I don't think he ever gave that to Cleveland.
Yeah.
He was solid.
He was solid, but he wasn't.
That's
That's about
Jake
what he gave
Westbrook.
Cleveland.
Jake Westbrook is
solid ball player.
a 500, bit above maybe,
He's a
with about, he was
He's a good-
3.97 ERA, and that's
4 or 5.
Yeah.
He's a good 4 or 5 on a good team.
Yeah.
his problem was he had some injuries with Cleveland.
Yes, he did. Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
So record time. What do you think?
you neglected to mention the stud starting pitching prospects that they have. Kelly, Rosenthal. You didn't mention Shelby Miller, who's the cream of the crop starting pitching guy. If they come out, if Garcia's not ready, if Westbrook's hurt, or
Well, Rosenthal is on Baseball America's list of number 4.
yeah,
Who are the other ones?
where's Shelby Miller?
Matt Adams, Baseball America's list of number
Yeah.
7. These guys on the outside looking. Shelby Miller, Baseball America, list number 2.
And Oscar Taveras, outfielder, number 1.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
if their old guys go down, they got some of the top farm
Yep.
system guys in baseball.
And that's how you build a future for sure.
They
so.
seem to have
yeah.
a system
They're
in place
ready.
in their minor leagues.
They
They've got
know
guys
how
that
to
are
win.
able to step in
They know how to win that
Yeah,
and
organization.
contribute.
I mean, a lot of teams, if you lose somebody like Pujols, it's going to destroy
Yeah.
that organization. That's not
No.
been. They
No.
were almost like, leave, we dare you.
Yeah.
You know, and they've done
Yeah.
very well.
I
with
like that bullpen with
You can
Mott.
argue that Alan Craig had a good year as
Just about.
Yeah.
Pujols had
Yeah,
everyone
absolutely.
for probably roughly $25 million less. Or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like Mott and Boggs at the end of that bullpen too. Choate was a good addition.
We said Mott saved 42 games last year.
Yeah, he brings
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He's got
Anybody?
one hell of a beard. Let me tell you. I see, if I got Cincy winning the division, with 93
You've got
wins,
with 93 wins.
I see 88 wins out of this team.
All right, so 88 and 76, 88 and 74. My math skills are a little off.
This is a very good team.
Yeah.
They're going to be there.
Doug, what do you think?
Well, seeing as that's what I had at 88 and 74, I'll change mine, but I'll bump them a win, 89 and 73.
I think in this division they could very easily win 90 games.
They're going to beat up on probably three of the teams. Two or
It's either 90 and 72 or 91 and 71. I'll say 91 and 71.
They're going to give Cincinnati all they can handle.
I think they will. Absolutely. I think that,
Wainwright's
that could be a
healthy.
split series between the
Wainwright's
two of them.
healthy, which, and this is me watching MLB Network all the time because I get it now, but Lance Lynn dropped like 60 pounds.
Oh, wow.
He was a big boy last year, and that may be,
That could definitely make a difference.
The big guys got a little more behind the fastball there. We'll
Yep.
see what happens though. It's got good stuff.
What do you think?
89 and 71.
89 and 73?
Or 73.
All right, so the NL Central for Doug is looking like the Reds taking it all at 95 and 67. The Cards 6 games behind them at 89 and 73. Then the Brewers at 81 and 81. The Pirates at 80 and 82. And the Cubs at 70 and 92. James has the Reds winning the division at 90 and 72. The Cards behind them at 89 and 73 as well.
One game.
Yep, with the Pirates at 83 and 79, the Brewers at 81 and 81, and the Cubs at 62 and 100. I have the Reds at 94 and 68 winning the division. The Cards behind them at 91 and 71. The Brewers in third at 83 and 79. Then the Pirates at 78 and 84, and the Cubs at 71 and 91. And Zach has the Reds also winning at 93 and 69. Followed by the Cards at 88 and 74. Then the Pirates at 81 and 81. The Brewers at 79 and 83. And the Cubs at 68 and 94.
I love all my record predictions. Every division. I think they're going to be exactly right.
Exactly right. Not at all, not off by a single game.
But if baseball teaches you one thing, it's you can sit here and predict stuff over in March now. But
Yeah, it's easy to predict now, but wait
Yeah.
until, Orion Braun goes down.
Yeah.
I'd say get us
And
into
Alan Craig,
one
or-
third of the season, just 1/3 of the season,
Yeah.
and make predictions again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
A
you've always,
lot
but
can
see,
change.
that's not really, that wouldn't be good either, because you got a lot of teams that will jump out to a hot start and then finish, break
The
down
past
in
few
the
years have shown
Absolutely.
us-
in the stretch.
St. Louis, when they won 2 years ago, was 9 games behind Atlanta in the wild card in September. And they won the World Series.
Yeah, yep.
Look at those 2 World Series the Giants have won the past 3 years.
Yep.
Nobody picked them.
Yeah,
And we're
it's
and we may not pick them in our
The
NL
Giants
West.
went to Cincinnati, wound up sweeping Cincinnati. Nobody saw that
Cincinnati.
coming. Yeah.
They fell down 2-0 at home.
Yeah,
that was
Went
the
down 3
Yep.
games.
Nobody saw. They did. Yeah, you're right. They didn't sweep them. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, baseball is so long.
So-
There's so much that can happen.
I've heard that before.
It's incredible. I mean, you're talking football. If you have a guy go out for 2 months,
So long.
if you have a guy go out for 2 months in football, he's missing half the year.
Yeah.
In baseball, that's nothing. You know, oh, he'll be back in a little while. You know,
As long as you have them in August and September and October.
that's exactly right. As long as you can
Well,
hang in there until they come back.
Yeah.
Which,
Hanging in.
which when we get to our division with the Tribe, that's what we're talking about, hanging in there.
Well, that'll do it for the NL Central Talk for Sports Rock Show.
Rock.
We will see you on the other side.